let's get to the Arizona Cardinals path to the playoffs. So, as I've been doing every single podcast episode so far, I am giving an argument as to why the Cardinals could make the playoffs, even though reasonably I don't think they have a shot in the dark to make to make the playoffs. I really don't think they do. I think the other teams in the NFC are just way better, way more experienced, probably better coached. Although we're gonna see with Mike LaFleur that maybe that's a sneak peek of what could be to come, right? And obviously Mike LaFleur fits into every single position group right now because he is the head coach, especially on offense, and that's what we're talking about today. And it's the Arizona Cardinals primary pass catcher, Trey McBride. We're talking about the tight end room. That's right, the tight end room. Uh, and I maybe should have started off the path to the playoffs segment series, the path to the playoffs series with Trey McBride because guess what? He's the best player on the Arizona Cardinals. He is the best tight end in football. When the NFL Top 100 comes out, if he's not in the top 15, it will be outrageous. It will be an outrageous claim to say that Trey McBride is in a top 15 to 20 player in football. We'll actually see how outrageous it is. I just think in my head that there's not 20 players better than McBride, but there could be. There could be. We'll see. We'll see if I'm as passionate about that as when the actual list comes out. Okay, let's get into McBride. So, the Arizona Cardinals drafted McBride in 2022. He's played 4 seasons. He's played in 66 games, started 58 of them. He has 347 career receptions and 3,475 receiving yards. He has 17 receiving touchdowns plus a fumble recovery touchdown, if you can believe that. In 2024 is when he first started his ascension to being an elite tight end. He was the first 1,000-yard season in Arizona Cardinals history. He played in 16 games with 111 receptions for 1,146 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. And if we remember, it was that entire season was like, wow, Trey McBride, another great game. No touchdowns. Yeah, because Kyler Murray was a bad red zone quarterback. And if you're a bad red zone quarterback, you're a bad quarterback. Um, but yeah, he had multiple games with double-digit catches, including a franchise tight end record 12 catches in a game against Seattle in Week 12. He did earn Pro Bowl recognition in 2024, and then 2025 is where he really got going. He was a first-team All-Pro, which means he was voted as the best tight end in football. So when I say he's the best tight end in football, it's not really that outrageous of a claim, although guys like Brock Bowers were on the injured list for much of the season. So uh, it's not a lock that he's going to be first team all pro going into this season, but I think he is the best tight end in football either way. So his stats last season were 126 receptions for 1,239 yards and 11 receiving touchdowns. He led tight ends in receptions and receiving yards, and he was tied for touchdowns among all of tight ends. He became the first NFL tight end with 100-plus receptions in back-to-back seasons and set the single-season tight end receptions record with 126. 126 receptions. Guys, that's crazy. Crazy. Historic stuff from Trey McBride. And yeah, so he's still in the beginning prime of his career. So I'm super excited to see what he can do this season, regardless of who's throwing him the football, because he is a quarterback's best friend. No matter who's playing, whether it's Gardner or Carson or Jacoby, Any of those guys, they're in trouble, get the ball to McBride. It's pretty darn simple. Get the ball to Trey McBride as much as possible. Now, that's not the only guy in the tight end room that we should be excited about. I'll tell you right after I take a sip of water. That's not the only guy we should be excited about in the tight ends room. Elijah Higgins is a sleeper, in my opinion, and he could be a big feature in Mike LaFleur's offense this season. LaFleur comes from the Rams, who used 13 personnel, which means they used 3 tight ends on the field at once last season. And I think that while we might not have the personnel to have all 3 tight ends of Trey McBride and Elijah Higgins and Tip Reiman on the field at the same time, I do believe that we will be in 12 personnel a lot. And it's going to be Higgins and McBride and Reiman as the big 3 tight ends in that rotation. Higgins, last season, played in all 17 games. He had 30 receptions for 301 yards and no touchdowns. He did have a game against Atlanta where he caught 7 passes for 91 yards. So he showed that he's come up big in big games. And with basically LaFleur's system, I honestly think my argument for Higgins having an even bigger season is predicated on the fact that Mike LaFleur is coming from Los Angeles, where they used all the tight ends. My thinking is LaFleur is going to rely a lot on 12 personnel, and Elijah Higgins is going to be on the field a lot. And with him on the field a lot, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for him. Mike LaFleur runs a better system, according to basically anyone who knows football. They always say that the Shanahan, LaFleur, McVay system, that all comes from the Mike Shanahan school of offense. They think that that's the best offense in football because it creates big running gaps and easy throwing lanes to tight ends. So Elijah Higgins is a guy who could have a really big season this year. Obviously, with other guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson on the team, they signed Devin Duvernay, who could play on offense as well. We'll see. He's mostly just a return guy, in my opinion. Jeremiah Love, James Conner, like there's a lot of guys who are deserving of getting the football, but Elijah Higgins is maybe 4th right now on the list of guys who, at least as far as pass catchers go that aren't running backs. I think Elijah Higgins might be 4th in line to get some receiving opportunities behind McBride, Marvin, Michael Wilson. I think Higgins could be that 4th guy this year. And if he is, then that means the Cardinals offense is working, because if there's tight ends on the field, that means they're running the football well, and then they're doing play action off of that. And Elijah Higgins is benefiting from the attention of other guys like Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, and Michael Wilson. Now, the last guy that I want to highlight in the tight end room is Tip Reiman. He's not really a receiving threat, but he's going to play a big part because he is a physical run blocking tight end. And it's basically a glorified fullback, but it's not a sexy position at all. And he is perfect for it, especially in this offense where they're going to be wanting to run a lot with all the running backs that they have and a revamped offensive line. Reiman comes in. He can be a 6th offensive lineman at times for this team. And with him in the back, with him blocking for our backfield, he could also be a very, very integral part to a Cardinals team that can make the playoffs, as far-fetched as that sounds. So that's another reason to be optimistic about the Arizona Cardinals making the playoffs, even though it's probably not going to happen. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch the full podcast version, there's a playlist right here that you can click on. If you want to watch more videos, you can click over here. And please remember to always, always, always like the video, comment on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We're all there all the time. So please follow us. Please continue to support the AZ Sports Podcast. And I will see you on the next episode.